and they'll be restless, and that's okay. Just come back to your breath when you realize that your body's moving or that your mind's going all sorts of directions. But less minutes is better for autistic children than more minutes meditating at the beginning until they get used to it. But I've trained autistic children and autistic adults to meditate, and the autistic adults, when they got into it, they did it for hours. They were great.
Okay.
They became great meditators. I don't know, the autism went to that, hyper focus. So it was good.
Okay, I'll share it with that sister if she's not here. I'm not sure if she's here.
Hal, I had a question.
Yeah.
This is Deepak. Hi, Sairam. I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the difference between the Patanjali yogic meditation and Swami's light meditation?
So Patanjali, I understand from meditation, did contemplation upon mantras, contemplation upon the glory of who I am, and maybe he did some others that I'm not aware of. You might be more aware of it. But Swami's meditations all include, it's not just light meditation that Swami gives. He gives like 7 different types of meditation. The way we've given it, it integrates those other types, generally speaking. But Swami's meditations are inclusive of Patanjali's meditations. And Swami really had a lot of respect for Patanjali.
Yeah, because in Patanjali's meditation, if I may briefly say so, the crux of Patanjali meditation is that when you remove the modifications of the mind, that means there are no thoughts or movements in the mind, then the Atma naturally rests in itself.
Yes. So yes.
That's the essence of it.
So the similarity between Swami's way of putting that and Patanjali is this: when you are the witness of the mind and let go of the thoughts and feelings, you become the observer of the mind. You let go of the body identification and the labels that come with it. Then Atma itself is revealed. So it's kind of similar. The Swami puts it in a more practical way, everyday way, when he teaches these things. So he says things very simply, and it really gets to the essence of it. And so, but it's basically, that's what Swami is saying. Let go of the labels and the false identifications, then Atma itself reveals itself.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Sairam,
Sairam.
I have a question.
Yes.
My name is Vijay Mohan. My video is not working just now. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Brother Al, now
Yes.
possibly I may be the oldest person practicing meditation in this group. I'm 30 years old. I have tried.
I don't think you're older than me. How old are you?
78.
Oh, he is.
Oh, a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
I
That's good.
I had tried meditation a few years back and I didn't succeed. And by, I would say, the SSIO organization kindness, I was able to get on to this track.
Uh-huh.
I have for the last 2 months and more been trying to meditate, practicing only Soham. The idea of trying to concentrate on just exhalation and inhalation to the sounds of Soham. Now here I have a question, because while the normal breathing rate could be as much as 15 times a minute, and when you are in meditation, it may go down as low as 4 times a minute. There's a lot of space available when you finish one hum and start the next hum. So what is one supposed to do in that gap? Do you follow me?
Lovely.
Similarly, between the so and the hum itself, between the time of inhalation and exhalation, there's a period of time when the breath is inside the lungs. What does one do then? So all the system of distraction. So I'm trying to close my eyes.
Sounds like you're an engineer.
Yes. Yes.
Are you a former engineer?
I am an engineer.
Yeah, still, yes.
You're right.
You're engineering your breath. But just follow the breath as it naturally occurs, not forced. So the 1:4 ratio or something like that, don't worry about that.
No, I'm saying it just happens that way. Because
Okay. Mhm.
Right.
the normal breathing rate is only 15 times a minute. And as one meditates, it keeps going down and down. But
Mhm.
still, that there is a very palpable, tangible gap of time between the end of one exhalation, the next inhalation.
You're ready for going beyond the breath.
Yeah,
So you're ready for Om. Soham turns into Om. Let go of the breath, which is the subtlest level of body and body identification. So let go of that breath. After a few minutes of meditating on Soham, which prepares the mind for concentration, settles the mind in concentration, then you let go of that and you just think Om. Never mind the breath. So it sounds like you're ready to go beyond breath.
And Swami says that breathing slows down naturally. It's just part of the process.
right. And
So
another question,
yes.
brother, just one question, if you will indulge me. I, like given my stage in life, I would like to be competent and doing this before I'm possibly beyond this life. So how long does it take to get into that mode of being competent?
About 60 seconds if you really do it. So meaning, look, you're not the body, mind, personality, ego complex. You're not that. Swami says that's a dream. And every night we go to bed and we lay that down to rest. And we go in unconsciously into the oneness of God, oneness of the absolute. It's called deep sleep. Now, every night we're doing that for 3 hours. And a healthy person, maybe 2 hours for unhealthy people, but 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours every night. So make it conscious during the day. Let go of the body, mind, personality, ego identification. We are not the labels that our body is labeled with. I am not male. I am not Jewish. I am not an American. I am not a white person. I am not a doctor. I am not whatever, a parent. I am not a father. I am not a son. I am not any of those things. That's what the body represents, but that's not who I am. Neti, neti. That's what neti, neti in a practical manner is. So neti, neti, I am not this, I am not that, I'm not this. I am consciousness residing in a vase that people can see and call certain things because it was born in a certain family. I'm not a Brahmin, I'm not a priest, I'm not any of that. I am I. When some students asked Swami said, who do you think I am? What would you call me? They said, oh, you're God incarnate, you're Krishna incarnate, you're Rama, you're the oneness of all beings, you're the absolute unmanifest in human form. Swami said, no, I'm not any of that. Those are words. Then he finally said, after they all tried, he said, I am I. That's it. The I that we all say we are is the I that Swami and the unmanifest are. I am I. That's who we are. We're the witness, the consciousness within all of the beings. And the source of that, because consciousness is existence, and existence is manifestation. From the unmanifest manifestation has occurred. We are not even that manifestation. We are the unmanifest, absolute truth.
Thank you.
Right.
I have a question.
Thank you. Yes.
I have been practicing the sort of getting in the gap and saying God or Om Shri Sai Ram. Or something.
Okay. Maybe you could ask everybody to mute their mics. Mute all.
Sai Mahadeva Satya Sai.
Okay, do I have control? Okay, good. All right, now the person who is asking, can they unmute their mic?
Yes.
And that
was
person
good.
only. Okay,
Okay.
all right, good.
All right.
Ask again. Start again.
I am doing the kind of gap meditation right now, and where I breathe in and then kind of hold my breath in the gap and concentrate on like the third eye, the forehead area, and say like Om Shri Sai Ram or I am God, and then after a while, breathe back out. But I've been doing that maybe for about 6 months, but I'm finding that when I was doing the guided meditations, I see more. I mean, it's still dark. Doesn't seem like I'm getting anywhere. But when I do the guided meditations, then I see light. I kind of blank out a lot. And so I'm wondering if I'm doing something not right, or if it can be improved, or one way is better than the other.
So if you're doing Om Sai Ram, Om Shri Sai Ram, whatever, and looking at the third eye area, focusing here, your third eye will see light, because that's what the third eye sees. However, that's
very dark. I don't see anything. Sometimes I might see a dark blue, but I don't see the bright light that I see when I listen to your guided meditations.
so you don't. Okay, so that's a misnomer. The light that we're seeing within the heart and filling the body is a visualization. It's imagination,
Which is good. You want to do contemplation. You're concentrating on the breath and the mantra and on your third eye. And then you're going into the contemplative state, which is the mind is seeing nice colors or whatever that makes you feel good. But the ultimate thing is when it just stops.
meaning you go beyond name and form, and that from here you go to here, you go to the top of your head. So if you're here, you want to come like the sun rising from the horizon to high noon, which is a good analogy that I like to use, a metaphor. And you end up 1 inch above the top of your head, which is the 8th chakra. It's an energy chakra in the soul body. It's the first chakra of the soul body. So the fact of the matter is, you visualize that, then you're beyond the body and you're expanding into who you really are. It's not, you're not going to see it. As a matter of fact, the unmanifest is a dark, velvety, sparkly. It doesn't even, you don't even see the sparkles in it sometimes. You just are it and you don't perceive anything. So, awareness of what you're perceiving requires a duality of observer and observed. But the observer and the observed in that state of beyond the mind is one. So the oneness is what you're in, and you're not going to recognize colors in that. You're not going to see colors. It's when you come out of that, and the colors are actually only the chakras opening up. So sometimes you'll see purple because you're in the 6th chakra, or going to the 7th, or, where you'll see green because you're in the heart, or you'll see yellow because you're in another part of the chakra system. But it doesn't matter. That's not what's important.
Okay.
There's an experience beyond that. And you could go many years without having much happening, where it seems like there's not much happening, but you're making progress. It's really something that, usually in the beginning you get some nice experiences because God is gonna give you an idea that this is the right thing. And every once in a while you'll get some nice thing happen, but it's just keeping up what you're doing, basically.
Persistence furthers, perseverance furthers, patience is required. Eventually, no matter what, the goal is, to know who you really are, which you always were anyway. It's just, clearing the clouds and revealing the sun that's within you. But when that revelation comes, it's not like this glorious fireworks with the solar energy and all this light that happens. It doesn't happen like that. It's a very subtle thing.
And basically, if you're peaceful, after, and you can bring it into your everyday life. That's pretty much good, to keep building on the peace. But it's not like, unless you're Ramana Maharshi, it's not a sudden thing, although it can be for anyone.
And after you fully know who you are, there's a lot more growth after that. It's, there's expansion that includes, an awareness of the hierarchy of responsibilities and all sorts of things that happen. It doesn't stop. It doesn't ever stop, as a matter of fact. In human life, the goal of human life is full oneness with God. But that's the goal of human life. What about after that?
So in like living, our lives, which are usually pretty busy, and if you have children, you know how hard, meditating with children is very hard, but it's something that you can do. But it's certainly, the difference between not having children around and having children around, it makes it much harder. But basically, if you keep the practice up, you become peaceful. And then Swami says the thing that matters the most is how loving we are. And so if we can take the peace and the devotion that we feel towards him when we meditate, and then when we go with our families or at work, whatever we're doing, if that love can manifest, if we care about other people, then that's really what Swami says is what proves that we're getting something from our meditation. That vision of love that we have towards him, the devotion when we meditate, or the peace that we have when we go beyond form, and the light, that manifests as love in our lives. And then we're just, Swami's instruments. And he says the really the only thing that shows that you're making any progress is how loving we are to our fellow human beings, our fellow beings on the earth.
That's right. And that's why I'm going to be very loving right now and let the dog out while Roseanne continues with your questions for a moment. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, Roseanne, Dave Carity. I have a really silly, crazy question. I find that when I come out of meditation, I am always bent to the left. I don't know why, but I mean, every single time I'm bent, I think I'm sitting very straight, but I'm always bent to the left. And until I open my eyes, I don't know. And I wonder what that means. It's very, it has.
Al and I do that once in a while. It's either the pingala going up the sushumna of the, the chakras, and you have just more energy on one side than the other. And you just basically, it's hard when if you're not noticing it when you're actually in meditation, it's hard to correct it. But I assume that, Swami will correct it when your energies get balanced. But I've noticed it's kind of funny being, on videos, and sometimes I'll go right or left, and Al does too. It's just the energy's rising, and hopefully we'll become more balanced as we progress. But it's, I'm not sure if you can make, you might be able to make up for it consciously by checking, at some point in your meditation, checking your posture. But it may be just if you're going into a state where you're too deep to think about that, then you're just going to have to pray to Swami to balance the energies. But I don't think there's anything bad about it. Basically, you don't want to fall asleep. That thing where you just go boink. That's a problem. But that happens, we fall asleep sometimes, but we're not making a lot of progress in meditation, whereas maybe we need sleep. But the energies eventually balance themselves out, as far as I know.
Balance them, or is there any way to balance them?
I'm sure if I was a yogi in the Himalayas, my teacher would know what to do, but Swami has not come as Premasai grown up at this point, so he would know. I would just pray, because what the thing is, and in our hearts, he's always there. So if we pray for him to balance our energies, then, I mean, he's the one who directs our meditations, and he may not be physically available to us, but he definitely is available to us. And so, just pray every time you meditate.
Helps to know energy that it's not something going wrong.
Not that I know of, no. I mean, try not to move. Being straight is the most important thing. It's just some energy thing that it's not balanced. I don't think it's a problem.
Okay, thank you.
And when Al comes, he can, I'll ask him, but in my experience, we both do that occasionally.
Okay.
The main thing is you don't want to fall over, you don't want to fall asleep, that kind of stuff. But other than that, it's just the natural process. And okay, he's almost back. I'll just ask him. Do you know anything about leaning sideways?
Yes. So
Is there a way to fix it?
So the Ida and the Pingala and
Yeah, I
the
told you
Shuma
that.
go up. And,
Yes.
and the way to fix it is just when you notice that you're leaning, that's when you're aware, you just straighten up comfortably. But sometimes the stress is in one particular channel of the Sushumna and the Kundalini, or the Ida and the Pingala are blocked. So you're going to be leaning for that to be unblocked.
It happens all the time. I feel like I'm straight, and when I open my eyes, I find out I'm like this.
Like this, I can't see, but that's fine.
We got the idea.
We got the idea. You're leaning over like the Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Curled.
Like,
And
okay.
I feel like I'm straight.
Yes. So, do you do yoga?
No. I mean, not since I was very young.
So it would be good to do some stretches, because that's what the yoga was formulated by the yogis, so that when they were in between meditations, their body just didn't crumble.
Okay.
So yoga strengthens the muscles enough to hold the meditational positions. It also stretches them out, the muscles. It's really important. Yoga asanas are a very important part of meditation.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right.
Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, hello, Sarah. I don't have the video, so I have 3 questions.
Yeah.
Is it better to do guided meditation or meditation on your own? I think I seem to do better with guided meditation.
So guided meditations are helpful, and we actually do guided meditation ourselves, our friends, who we've been with for 30 or 40 years. We just relax, and when we're with them, they lead meditations, and it's very nice. However, words and guided meditations are like training wheels. Sooner or later, you go beyond the words, whether it's that meditation or just in general. A lot of my students, they don't like the guided meditations as much anymore, but they like to sit with us when we all meditate, because the vibration is nice, and they get sucked into that vibratory rate of meditation, and it makes it easier for them to meditate as a group as a result, when you're in person especially. And but they don't like my words, so they say less, because it's distracting from your own inner process. So go beyond the words. It's just to lead you in. At some point, don't force yourself to go beyond words, but you naturally let the words go, because the words are vehicles to get to the inner self. And once there, you get out of the car,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Second question, sometimes one tear from the eye, is that normal, or is just probably a peaceful experience maybe, right? What does it mean?
So tears from the eyes are the opening of the heart and the dissolving of past regret.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah,
Both
actually I do.
together.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, excuse me.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
the favorite thing that I have that Swami said about that is he said, make the tears jewels on the throne in your heart for me.
Mhm. Wonderful. It's beautiful. Lastly, you mentioned about the Kundalini. So do we need to have practice to keep trying on the meditation to get to that level? Or does Kundalini definitely rise, but not so high?
Kundalini rises by itself. You don't have to do anything to help it. Just meditating and doing the right thing during the day and being loving and truthful and kind and compassionate, following Swami's human values, the Kundalini naturally rises to the top of your head and beyond. And to top it off, if Swami wants it to rise, he can blink his eye and it'll rise, which he's often done with us. So, it just is the grace of God when it finally breaks through. And you can't, by the way, remember, you can't do this on your own. It's impossible to break through all your karma of all your lifetime on your own. It only happens by God's grace, by Swami's grace in the end. That's the only way it happens. You make your efforts, you walk the path truthfully, and you do the best you can, and you give all the results to God. You're not attached to them. You just surrender it all to God, to Swami, and in the end, it'll happen. One day, at some point, it'll happen. That point might be today, tomorrow, or next life, but it'll absolutely happen sooner or later. Ramana Maharshi only took 45 minutes in this life. He had done it in a past life, or he had just gotten to the brink of it in a past life. But it doesn't matter. Everything is in God's hands. Everything. And in reality, there's no hands of God. There's only God. There's only the ocean. There's no separate raindrops and all these things, There's only God.
Lastly, some places I've read that it's going to be hard to contain the Kundalini energy and something like that.
You always need a teacher because the Kundalini energy can go bad. What it does is it goes through the subconscious and cleanses the subconscious, and you have to know to let go of the subconscious ego negativities and positivities and everything about it. So that's where a teacher comes in, because you can hit on that stuff and then you can have it become completely egotistical as a result. So the two processes of sadhana, as you well know, there's three processes actually. The infusion of God, the cleansing of the subconscious, and the service to humanity. Those three, aspects all have to be present if sadhana is going to be satisfactory and fulfilling. It's going to result in the proper result. But the reality is, once you see yourself as being beyond the mind and not a body and not an ego and not any of that, it's there all the time. And you realize it's there all the time. I just wasn't paying attention to it. It's like the white screen behind the movie. You see it before the movie starts, and then once the movie starts, you get caught up in the drama and you don't see it at all. Well, the silence behind the mind and its thoughts and feelings and its activities is always there. And through that silence, the self reveals itself. It's always there. So what happens is, as we go through the day, we do things that kind of hide it for a moment. And then we make a choice to get back to it. And we remember. And it's like that. We're on a seesaw of the world and divinity, the world and divinity. We're making our choices not quite accurately all the time. Somebody gets us, provokes us, and we become angry. Now we've forgotten who we are. So then we get, oh yeah, I'm God. I can't, I don't need to be angry. God includes everything, including the most rageful moments of the world and humanity. So what do I have to get upset about? It's all in God's hands. What's the difference? That equanimity grows and grows and grows. And then through equanimity, the pond is calm. And then you see with clarity the sun reflected in that pond. And then you realize, oh, I'm the sun. I'm not just the reflection, I'm the sun. And then boom, it happens. And now you might do something and you forget in a day, but it's always there to be reminded of. Enlightenment, full enlightenment, comes after effort to do the right thing continuously and make the right choice.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's meditate. How about that? So that we'll ask at the end of this meditation for sharing of experience and any other questions you may have. So we can get back to that. It's now 8:30. We're going to meditate for a good 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, depending on what we feel. How many people do we have participating tonight?
So far, we have 27 people.
Tonight we have 27 people.
Yeah, without you, without including you.
Okay, so there'll be all different levels of experience. Just make sure you're comfortable, your back's comfortably straight, and you don't have to move in the position you're seated in. And sitting in a chair is fine. We're sitting in a chair. You can sit on the floor if you like. You can sit anyway, but sitting rather than lying down is best. And let everybody mute and turn off their audio so that we don't get any reflections back or echoes. And if you have to move, it's okay. If you have to itch something, just don't move a lot. You know, Swami once made fun of us because we were getting bitten by mosquitoes while meditating. We were itching more than meditating. And he said, what kind of meditation is that? Go beyond your body. He said. Even when the mosquitoes are biting you. Yeah, it was quite a test. All right, Roseanne's going to start this all off with, and we'll start with 3 hymns.
Make sure your back is straight. Check your head, it's all straight. Neck. Relax the shoulders. Take a deep breath. And breathe out. Take another deep breath and hear the sound it's making. So, as you exhale, hear hum. Inhale. So. Exhale. Hum. Do this on your own for a few minutes. So. Hum. Notice how you're relaxing. Your body's relaxing with each breath. If your mind's wandered, bring it gently back to the breath. So. Hum. So. Hum. Just gently breathe. So breathing in. So feel yourself relaxing. Feel your attention on your breath. Very gently. Let it come back again and again to the breath. Let all the cares of the day dissolve in this peace. Every breath. So just feel relaxation. All the cares are melting away. There's nothing to do. If a thought comes, just notice it and then let it go gently. You can just give it to Swami if it's something big. There, all our needs are in his hands. Just breathe in. So breathe out. Feel stillness inside. Feel how your shoulders, all the tension is dissolving. Your hands feel just relaxed. Your whole body is relaxed. There's nothing to do. Just breathe in. So Feel yourself breathing into your heart center, in the center of your chest, as if there's a nose there. Just breathe in. So, breathing out, hum, let all negativity, all darkness leave. Just feel relaxed, breathing into the heart center. Love fills us. So we breathe gently, heart filled with love. Feel the stillness of love. Our Lord, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, is always here in our heart. Just breathe in, so breathe out. Feel your heart open in love, knowing that Sai Baba is within us, always hearing all with compassion, hears every thought, and he loves us. Our breath is just filling us with light. Heart filled with love. Sai Baba is always there. He said, whatever tears may fall, make them jewels on my throne in your heart, shining. Offer everything, the good and the bad, the happy and the sad, all the opposites we offer to him. Feel his love in your heart. If a thought comes, just look at it. Is it unworthiness that Sai Baba would sit in our hearts? And just know that that's the mind that says we're not worthy. Sai Baba is there. He's always there. The Lord of Light. If you have a different image of God, that's fine. That's the same one. Let them be in your heart, listening, guiding, the depths of silence. Heart, the voice of God, can be heard. Just gently breathe into your heart. Go into the depths. Nothing on the outside matters. Depths of the heart, the silence of love. that accepts all and loves all. It flows like a river, love. Let there be light in the heart center. From Swami's form, he goes to the embodiment of light that he really is, the embodiment of love beyond the form. See that glowing in your heart like a candle flame, glowing like the sun as it expands within your heart center. When I say see it, you won't actually see it, but you can imagine it being there, and that's good enough. That's the way to visualize. Let that expand. If it's hard to visualize, just go with the peace that you feel and let the so-hum turn to om. If you like, at this point, you can say his name in your mind's thought. Om Shri Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram, or any name that you choose in any form. Then Swami urges us to let that resolve to light in order to go beyond name, to go beyond form, which we'll do in a little while. For now, let that light be in the heart center and let Om be in the mind. It's hard to imagine light in the heart. Then feel the peace deepening. And when the mind wanders from the Om, when it wanders from the peace, from the light, gently, easily, and effortlessly, when you realize you've wandered away into thought, come back gently, easily, and effortlessly to where you last left off, with keeping Om in the mind. Om can take you home. That's all that's really needed. It embodies everything and everyone. All names, all forms are contained within the Om. The most important part of this is to feel the love within you. The love you have for Swami becomes the love you have for everyone. Feel that expanding love within you as you allow the mind to dwell on Om, and you realize the same love in you is the same love in everyone. Same consciousness within you is the same consciousness within everyone. Same light within you, same peace, is the same light and light of peace within everyone. There are no divisions when you get to the Om. So let that fill your temple, let the heart overflow, and imagine the body, the temple, is empty inside, hollow, and you're filling up with love and light, the expansiveness of Om. Every cell is being touched, filling up like a glass of water, filling up from the tips of the toes to the top of the head. Just imagine this temple becoming a temple of light, love, and peace through the power of Om in the mind. I am.
let Swami help you with this. He does it all. If you ask him, he'll do it all. Om, Swami, help me, guide me. You do the meditation. You do it within me. You blossom within me, Swami. Please, within all of us, you blossom forth. Beyond mind, I am that I am. Filling with love, filling with light, through the power of Om in the mind. Just let the mind go. Observe it, start letting it go. No need for it this moment. Only that it thinks of Om, visualizes the light of peace filling you. Om. I am that I am. Raindrops of the ocean returning to the ocean. Become the ocean. Be the ocean that you always are. Om. If the mind is thinking about a thought and it's hard to get back to Om, just know that stress, deep stresses are being released. So just watch that thought like clouds you would watch in the sky. You're the observer of that, not the participant. Just observing those thoughts and feelings. And when they dissipate, you can come back to Om gently, easily, and effortlessly. Continue from where you last left off, filling the body with light and love. I am. Om. Om, there's only God. That's all there really is. So fill with that. You as a mind, body, personality, ego, as Swami says, are but a dream. Let us all wake up this moment. I am that I am. Om. Let the arms and hands and fingertips fill with love and light, with peace. Shoulders, the neck, and the head filled with the divine light of love through the power of Om in the mind and Swami's will within us. I am that I am. Om. Senses are purified, hearing, taste, touch, sight, smell, and the mind is purified and calmed by reality. I am that I am. Truth within me. the observer of all that is, consciousness. Om. Let us rise from the forehead to the top of the head, even if you would like to. Don't force it. Never force your meditation. Just stay where it's comfortable and work on that level. But for those who feel comfortable rising from the forehead to the top of the head, watch the sun in your mind's eye at the horizon at dawn. Rise through the sky of consciousness to the top of the head at high noon. See the perfection within you from the tips of the toes to the top of the head. It's all God. That's all there really is. It's all God. But Swami embodies. You are also. Om. We are all that. Om. Help us, Swami. Your grace dissolves our minds, dissolves our thoughts and feelings as we detach from them and only observe it and go beyond name, go beyond form. Om. So for those that feel comfortable, go a little deeper. Let it overflow through the top of your head like a fountain overflowing, filling the room around you with love, with light, with peace, and the body's boundaries become transparent. You're shining like the sun into the room and into the community all around you. All your friends, family, anybody who comes to mind, see them in this light of love, this light of peace. I am that I am. Om. There is only God. Om. Even strangers and acquaintances, they're all the embodiments of love, just like us. All light, consciousness, God. Even our so-called enemies, they're just God in different form. They're actually our best friends because they teach us how to love unconditionally. How else would we learn how to do that? Om, I am all beings. I am all things. Everywhere, all the time, there is only God. That's all there is. The earth, sky, clouds, the stars, and the space between them. All is the great ocean, the body of God. I am that ocean. No longer a raindrop, I have become the ocean. Om. When the mind starts to come back, it's because deep stresses are being released. Ask Swami to dissolve the mind and stabilize your awareness in who you really are. Swami says, I am God, I am not different from God. I am the indivisible, supreme, absolute, Satchit Ananda, truth, consciousness, bliss. I am God. That's what he tells us to tell ourselves. I am God. I am not different from God. Raindrops returning to the ocean are the ocean. Om. I am I. Om. Om. Go beyond name, go beyond form. So now begin to come back by being aware of what you feel right now. Take how you feel. And how do you feel now compared to how you felt before meditating this evening? This is much closer, maybe even actually who you really are. God in human form. That's all there is. It's only God, everywhere, all the time. The Father, Mother, God. Everyone, everything. That's all there really is. Om. Who am I? I'm not the body, grows older every day. I'm not the mind with its thoughts and feelings that I can observe. Who am I? I'm not even the observer of the thoughts and feelings. I am the observer of the observer. I am that I am. So come back into the body now, coming slowly into the heart center with that awareness, keeping it, bringing it into everyday life, bringing it back into the body awareness. Lighting the light on the altar of the heart with the love and the awareness that you know who you really are. And as it grows day by day through every action, thought, word, and deed, throughout the day and night, it grows till one day it is through what all thoughts, words, and deeds, and the day and the night. Baba guides us on our way. So come back into the body with that awareness. Coming down in, breathing again. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Keeping the eyes closed for a good 3 minutes. We were pretty deep in there, some of you. Most of you, actually. So coming, taking your time. Don't wake up fast from sleep. Take your time. Keeping the eyes closed for a good 3 minutes. As we Om, because there's always the service part of meditation. We meditate not for ourselves really, but for the peace within the world and all beings. They may come along. Every grain of sand that flowers, if you might say that, or every grain of sand that joins the ocean brings the other grains of sand along as well. Bit by bit, moment by moment, till all are one. So we pray in this way, that all may wake up to peace, love, and light in their lives. Be happy, have prosperity and good health. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Sai. Thank you, God. So when you feel comfortable, open the eyes. And if anybody would like to share anything, please feel free to open your mic one at a time and say what you would like to say, share what you would like to share, or ask a question if you would like.
Unmuted.
Sairam, this is Dina. Thank you. That was absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. I have one question is many times when I meditate, and it happened a lot this evening as well, I feel like my forehead is pulsating and vibrating. I feel a lot of energy in my forehead. And sometimes when I'm meditating, I almost have to touch my forehead to calm it down. If you can give me a little explanation of that, just so I can understand what's happening, I would appreciate that, please.
So the sixth chakra goes from the back of the neck to the forehead, right through the pituitary glands. That wakens the pineal gland eventually, which is the top of the head that opens up. So when you're feeling that pulsating in your forehead, that's your third eye pulsating. That chakra is pulsating. Those energy centers are opening up. They call them nadis, all these energy centers. There's many minor nadis as well. So around the third eye, sixth chakra, there's all these minor energy flows. And that's all opening up in meditation. That's what happens.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Try not to touch it because that slows it up. If it gets too much, you can touch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, don't go out.
Right.
It's the third eye, so you stay in it, in your consciousness. You don't go out.
Never go out this way through the third eye. Never. That's psychic. You don't want to do that. You want to go to the highest first, top of the head, and out that way.
Right. And
then
eventually you'll feel it up at the top of your head.
Yeah. It'll bubble.
The main thing is not to get scared or not to have pride about it. The two ends, it's just a process. Swami is in charge of it, and that's all.
And if you get a little prideful, don't worry, because Swami will take care of that. You have to have a little bit of ego to feel confident enough that you can do it spiritually, that you can meditate regularly, that it will result in full liberation and actuality. You have to have a little ego, a little spiritual, confidence, self-confidence to go on the path and walk that path. But eventually you realize, wow, I'm nothing and I know nothing. And, you become the hollow flute. And that's how it happens.
Thank you so much.
It's all God. God does everything. Anybody else want to share anything, experience or a question?
This is Shalane, and I have a question about, you mentioned about people being the enemies being your best friends, really, because they're teaching you. And I know you're to see everybody as God and to feel that. And how do you rise above those feelings and have detachment and get above feelings of hurt, anger, and things of that, so that you can treat them as if you were treating Baba?
Well, we asked Baba this question actually because we asked him when some things were very, very difficult on the ashram. We said, "Is everything God's will?" And he said, "Everything is my will. Even the blades of grass blowing in the wind blow exactly as I will them. Everything." And then I was thinking, well, what about when people get angry? And he said, "Just bubbles," meaning illusion. So our reactions to life are our crosses to bear, our hurdles to jump over along this road that we're traveling on, or the race that we're getting to be on. And in reality, we're not the mind, we're not our thoughts, and we're not our feelings. So that leads us to anger. For instance, when I was pretty angry about people hurting other people in the streets this summer. So I felt angry. I felt, how can this happen? How can people let this happen? And so I thought, oh, wow, I still have a little thing there, a reaction. So Swami was showing me, you still have this reaction. So, God encompasses everything that happens in this universe, especially on this planet, in all forms, on all states. We once asked him about World War II. What about that, Swami? Was that your will? And he said, humans can't understand why these things happen, but it all happens because it is my will. And it all balances out. Humans can't understand that. Eventually, he explained it to us, but it was pretty shocking when he did. But the fact of the matter is, we just have to have that faith that God knows what God is doing. And whatever happens, it's for our best. It's teaching us how to be strong in the midst of great pain and agony, and even great human suffering. How to stay stabilized in the fact that it is all God. Now, that doesn't mean we don't help. We help wherever we can have the opportunity to help. We do the best we can with what we have and help alleviate suffering in every possible way we can do it. In everybody's case, not just one person or this person or that person. Everybody's case, whenever we can alleviate suffering, we attempt to help and do that to the best of our ability. But we leave it to God. The result is totally up to God.
And that's why the avatar comes, because when humanity gets depraved and demonic,
which we are right now,
we are at a low point, and he's, the people are praying, God, come. And Sai Baba is either here as a child or about to be, and he'll be here. And humanity's crying for help. And then on an individual basis, of your question, the light meditation helps with that. When we see everybody, even our enemies, in the light is the same. And we could do that next month. We could do more of a light meditation.
Thing is this also, that we need to realize we're here all to grow together to the love that we all share and the truth we all share. So the things that we react to, that's teaching us what's holding ourselves back. Those reactions come out of ego. But also understand this: never in the history of the universe has the avatar incarnated 3 times in a row. That's what it requires this time around. 3 full incarnations, all 16 aspects of God incarnating in human form, as Shirdi Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba, and Prema Sai Baba, 300 years to transform humanity and the earth into what it needs to be, the golden age of God on earth, the kingdom of God on earth again. So that's not since the deterioration, the degeneration from the Sat Yuga to now, in the deepest, darkest part of the Kali Yuga. And we've been in this deepest, darkest part for quite some time. But Swami said before he left the planet, the dawn has come. Be patient. I will accomplish my mission. And no one, nothing can stand in my way. When my will is pronounced, when I will something to occur, it has to occur. It will occur, and nothing can stop it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It was wonderful meditation. I really enjoyed it. So,
We're happy to have the opportunity to help and lead. Though you could easily lead us. It works both ways. Anybody else like to share or ask a question? We have a few minutes.
Sairam Al, this is Ramesh.
Ramesh, Sairam. Nice to hear you.
Very beautiful session. Extremely beautiful session. I joined the meditation right after because every Thursday we do bhajan in our home, 7:30.
Yes. Yes.
So I just joined the meditation right after the bhajan. Perfect timing.
I'm glad you could. I'm glad you could.
It was really nice. You know, some of the explanations that you give right after that is so profound. And, you know, when you talk about how Swami is guiding us and what Swami is the authority and how this, I think, in addition to the beautiful guiding of meditation that you do, the information that you give is so relevant, pertinent for us to go through. And we really thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for beautiful experience.
We thank Swami's.
Yes,
We lift us out of the mud. We're buds in the mud. Hopefully we're going to bloom one day. And it's all Swami's grace. It's really Swami's grace. I mean, who would have ever thought that we could be in this consciousness together? And first of all, I want to thank you, Ramesh, for organizing this. Without you, this never would have happened, that we could come together like this.
No, I'm like you just said, I'm just an instrument here. That's all. You know, we kind of Nettie introduced you to us, and then we thought we will not have a retreat, and now look, we are having several sessions with you since the thing. So I'm really thankful to Swami for making this happen. And you know, after retreat, this is the third meeting, if I'm not mistaken. I think 27 people coming. It's the size is dwindling, but I think the core group is continuing to persist. We need to probably have a larger group meeting one more time, somewhere after Swami's birthday or something like that. So we'll see.
I'd be happy to help in any way at any time, and all are welcome to join. Tell friends, tell family. The thing in between this and then is that meditate regularly, every day. If you can get 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in every day at some point in the day, but maybe when you wake up in the morning, but sometimes it's not possible. So before you go to bed at night or any time in the day, then do that. Regularity in meditation builds a consciousness very easily, an awareness very easily of who you really are, and the centeredness and the equanimity that come from that stabilize. And it's pretty important. For me, it took 50 years. So don't worry, it'll happen eventually. I mean, I meditated regularly every day, twice a day for at least 30 minutes, twice a day for 50 years, sometimes 6 hours, 8 hours. But eventually it stabilizes. Eventually it happens. And don't ever give up. And sooner or later, we all blossom.
One other question for you. If we are not closing your eyes, but you're doing some activity,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing some kind of a thing. Let's say I'm doing some carpentry work or something like that, and I'm doing it. But I'm focused on the work and I'm focused on Swami's thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that considered as meditation or not?
Absolutely. And Swami says work is worship, remember? And he also said when you're very busy, you have to concentrate hard because it's a task that requires total concentration in order to be safe and do it well, or either way. You dedicate it to him at the very beginning. Swami, I do this for you. And don't worry about anything else. He's taking care of it. He's taking care of you too. That's all it requires is, Swami, I'm doing this for you. It's your will. You are the one, you are the doer. You just are working through this mind, this body to accomplish this task. And then that's meditation. Swami actually said that meditation is really 24/7, and it's just the remembrance that God is everything and doing everything, and you are God, and it's all one. He said that's meditation.
Islam actually got to that point where he was just in that state. Swami said all the time. He didn't have to sit.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
Well, I think it's time, and thank you very, very much, everyone, for joining together and meditating together. Thank you for the opportunity to lead and serve in this particular way, Swami doing it through us and doing it through each of you, because when you meditate and you build the light and awareness within yourself, it radiates from you to your family, to your friends, to your workmates, colleagues, to your businesses, and all that you see and touch and interact with, all are transformed gradually thereby, even without you knowing it, just by yourself being that more and more each and every day. It has its effect, and the effect, Swami has said, keeps the world from disintegrating. So you're serving God in every breath, all the time, when you consciously work at knowing who you particularly are, especially through meditation. So thank you all.
Thank you, brother.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful birthday.
Yeah, I'll request Sister Anusha to just do the closing prayers, and thank you so much, and hope you all enjoy Swami's birthday.
Happy birthday, everyone.
Happy birthday.
Sairam. Thank you, Swami, for bringing all of us here today for yet another meditative session, a deep, reflective, and inspiring one. Through your divine instruments, Brother Al and Sister Roseanne, Swami, we continue to seek your guidance as we intensify our sadhana to meditate so that we can all transform ourselves and always be worthy of your love. Thank you, Swami. Sairam.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Sairam. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sairam.
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 Thank you, Swami.